Miss Cromwell for this week's homework help. This week's homework is going to be pretty simple. Well, not simple, but shorter because I made an oops and only did copied Monday and Tuesday. I didn't do the back, so I apologize. But it is what it is. So looking at this week's homework, it says for over here for Monday, circle all the numbers that will round to 8,000. So students should be looking in the thousands place, and students should put a box around their thousands place and know that if we're rounding to the thousands, it's going to determine what is in that 100 spot. So in this 100 spot, we have a 6 as a digit. Students have been taught that if the digit is 5 and above, that you will round up. And if it's 4 and below, then you round down and keep it the same. So because that digit is a 6, we are actually going to round up. So yes, this number, 7,692, would indeed round to 8,000. So they would circle this. Okay. Another example, 7,134. We know we are rounding to the thousands, so we're going to look at the hundreds. And in this instance, there's a digit of 1 in the hundreds place. Since that digit 1, it's 4 and under, we're going to round down and keep that the same. So it's going to round to 7,000. So we're going to just leave it be. So that is that. Part 2 says round each of round each of the following. And it tells you what they're looking for, whether it's the nearest 100 or 1,000 for each. So for this one, 374, it tells me I'm rounding to the nearest 100. I'm asking students to underline that part because it just helps trigger the brain to know what they're doing. So because I'm looking for the 100, I'm going to put a box around the 100 and my arrow, because whatever the digit is and the place value directly to the right is going to determine whether I round up or round down. So in 374, the digit I'm looking for next, or looking at next to the hundreds place, is a 7. And that 7 is greater than 5, so I'm going to round up to 400. In 6,428, again, we're looking for the nearest 100. So I'm going to look at the hundreds place. That's where my box goes. My arrow is at that 2, so I'm looking at that 2. I know that that 2 is less than 4, which means that this rounds down and stays the same. So if I'm rounding this number, 6,428, to the nearest 100, it would be 6,400 as the answer. At the bottom, round each of the following to, write each of the following in standard form. And so each one, you just want to read it. 54,619. So I've let students know that after you see 1,000 with a comma, should be triggering your own brain to say that's where your comma goes when you are writing a number in standard form. So standard form is just writing it out. So 54,000, 54, I saw 1,000, I see a comma, that's where my comma goes. 600, so 6 is in the hundreds place, and then 19. So that's how you would write those in standard form. Coming over here, it says write the place value of the underlined digit and then round to that place. So this is combining our place value unit with our rounding unit. So it did give us an example, but I'm going to do one because sometimes it's just easier to hear it. So we have 96. So the underlying digit is a 9 and it's in the tens place. So you're going to write tens. And then you're going to round it. So if I'm rounding to the tens place, I'm going to look at that 6. And that 6 is greater than 5, which means I'm going to round up. So I'd round to 100. Again, let's try this one. 456. That 5 is underlined. That 5 is in the tens place. Put a box around it, which means I'm looking at the 6. The 6 is greater than 5, which means I'm going to round up. So again, we're rounding in this tens place. So I'm going to round up to 460. And then here at the bottom, it says write the following numbers in expanded form. It gives a great example, but I'm going to do it as well. If we did 533, that's just taking each digit and writing what it's worth. So like the 5 is in the hundreds place. So you would do 500 plus, okay, next digit is a 3. It's in the tens place. So it has a value of 30 plus, let's go to the ones place. It has a 3, which is just a value of 3. So that's how you write it in expanded form. So that is this week's math homework. Again, I apologize for messing up and not copying the other page, but you know, I'm sure the kids are not going to, they're not going to be upset about it. And then this week we have the same, it's not the same one, it's a different set of comprehension checks, but we've been doing them the whole school year. So this one says, Ben and Jen are happy because it is fall. They like to play outside. They like to play hide and seek. Ben rakes up a big pile of leaves and hides under them. At first, Jen cannot find Ben. Then Jen hears Ben under the leaves. So number 1 says, who are the characters in the story? And it says red, because we are annotating. Students are being taught that all answers when we come to comprehension questions are always found in the text. These are a little easier because we want the students to realize that you can always revert to your text and to get your answers. So who are the main characters in the story? Ben and Jen. However, we are in 3rd grade. We should be using complete sentences. So you can say the characters in the story are Ben and Jen. Okay, we did that in red. Why are Ben and Jen happy? Oh, we gotta do that in orange. Let me get my orange crayon. Happy because it is fall. Oh, this is a red orange. Well, I tried. And you would just write Ben and Jen are happy because it is fall. So with each of these with colors, you should be annotating and getting your answer from the text. The last one, what would be a good title for the story? Students kind of have a little bit of freeway, and you know, as a complete sentence, a good title for the story. A good title for the story is, and for this one, students can come up with something that fits. I tell students all the time that it has to make sense. We just read this, and it's all about leaves and being happy that it's fall. So they could say, you know, happy fall as a title, or leaf pile, something similar. If you're going to tell me that a good title is going to be Jill likes ice cream, like that would not make sense. Jill's not even in here, and the story is not even about ice cream. So in that instance, that would be incorrect. But as long as it makes sense to what we're reading about, then it's perfect. If your student is not a strong reader, these are perfect because have them read it multiple times, even in the same night. So like this is Monday's homework. Though I know sometimes we're all busy, you can't get it done on Monday. That's okay. Pick one, but have your student read it a few times to you. Help boost their confidence, because we do take, reading assessments every 5, 10, and 15 days, and we want to boost their confidence within themselves. All right. Well, as always, if you have any questions, please reach out and let your teacher know. But I will see you all next week. Thanks.